What's that now? Don't like the cold? Can't stay in today. We have a ritual to perform, you and I. Here. Wear this. It belonged to my daughter. Good. Today, I speak your name, girl. But will the goddess speak it back? Normally, it would be the mother who declares, if you had one. The whole village would attend, and matriarchs perform the ritual. But we are outcasts. Even so, we keep the tribe's rituals. Otherwise, we might become like the faithless old ones, who turned their backs on the goddess. But their wickedness doomed them. To us, were left the splendors of creation, beasts of air, water, earth, and steel. It is one thing to hunt a beast, another to hunt a machine. You must be humble and respect their power. I will teach you this one day. What is she doing here? Does she mean to forbid the ritual?
No, off your knees. It's nearly time. And yes, you may speak to me.
You came to bless the naming.
Have not 6 months gone by since we entrusted her to you?
But we are outcasts.
You by choice, and she, well... I am a high matriarch, Rost. I bless whom I choose.
Then you honor us.
Yes, now go, and be ready to declare. Go! Oh, Mother, this child needs a name by which to know her. That your love may warm her life as the rising sun warms all the earth. Speak her name!
Aloy!
And so her name is blessed.
Stop this at once! What have you done?
I've blessed the naming of a child.
Stubborn woman, you call that curse a child? What did she tell you about his birth, outcast? Answer!
I've done only what you asked.
To raise it, yes. We said nothing of love.
Enough.
And you, blessing its name like it was one of
I
the
know
Nora,
my duty
one of
to
the
them.
tribe.
And to you.
Without consultation.
I'm here. And wherever you go, I will follow.
there's the title screen. I'm like, holy crap, this game just starts, huh? Well, that's a hell of an introduction. So, that's actually kind of a funny story what happened here. So I did that whole poll, you guys will remember a week or two ago or something, where I tried to figure out which games I should and shouldn't play this month, because I had the list of games that I would play was so huge that it was not feasible. So, and as a result of that poll, I made the tough choice of not playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Then the Patreon poll for each month comes by, and everyone votes for Horizon Zero Dawn. So I guess that works, because the whole premise was that I didn't have time for it in my current schedule, which was running under the assumption, of course, that one of the things in my schedule was the Patreon game of the month. But if that's going to be Horizon, then I guess this is two birds with one stone, huh? That works for me. So, I've had a bit of a back and forth with this game up until now. When it first was announced, I'm like, oh, fighting mech dinosaurs, that's fun. That's like one of those really absurd early video game premises, where like, it used to be that video games were just absurd all the time, and that's kind of fun when you're playful with the stupid premise, like what looked like tribals, people, or cavemen or something fighting robo-dinosaurs. I'm like, alright, cool, got it. I'm up for this. Then I saw that it was from the developer of Killzone, and I'm like, oh, those are incredibly boring games. And then I got a little worried about a few things, and I'm like, oh, it's an open world game, and so we're probably going to be collecting things and climbing towers to reveal a map, and there was reasons to be concerned, and I became more cynical about the game's release up until it actually came out, and it got some really glowing reviews, which I mostly ignored, but specifically I saw Jeff Gersman gave it a 5 out of 5, and I'm like, okay, that's... I've heard him talk a lot on podcasts. He put some thought into this stuff, so that's actually immediately interesting. And yeah, now that I'm actually seeing it, this setting is immediately interesting. Also, visually, it's absurd how well that stuff seems to be rendering. I think that was all in-engine. The main reason that makes me think it was in-engine is because the baby had some texture popping things. As the camera panned away, the baby's texture was changing from between different textures. It was actually it was a little jarring to look at because I was looking specifically at the baby, but if you weren't looking specifically at it, you might not notice it. And that's probably textures scaling based on distance to the camera, which is probably a tactic used to make the game run better so that it can have such ridiculous stuff all over the place because of the scale of it as an open world game, which is a really neat detail. That makes me think that it actually might be an engine, which makes sense because some of this first-party Sony stuff has been kind of absurd with how good some of it's getting, especially visually. So we have normal, hard, very hard, easy, normal. Let's see. We have quest path finding. We have a HUD. There's my inversion. Found it. Sprint toggle. You can either tap a button or hold it down to sprint. That's interesting. The mount follows the road. There's a lot of little things here. Graphics mode. What? Oh, for the different versions of the PlayStation 4. I was like, why is this on a console? It's still a worthy question, presumably. We'll turn down things that are not speech slightly for the sake of balancing. There we go. Alright, let's get in there. Let's go with normal, I think.
Aloy! Aloy!
Oh, that's a lot of berries. You're quite the gatherer, aren't you, little Bast? Now go and see if you can find some more, hmm? Well done, that's a good boy. Children, come with me. She's an outcast, to be shunned. There. Oh, come on. There.
Rost! Down here! Rost! Rost! He won't hear me. Some kind of cave?
Well, hello. Look at that water. The refractions go. Where was it? I found you.
Rats.
There it is. The reflection disappears. Are those spider webs? What are those? I think those are some kind of spider webs up there that disappear when you look slightly down. Really cool looking location though. The lighting's great. The water reflecting onto the roof and everything. This is really carefully rendered. And it's running at like 60. Wow, okay. Should I catch the rat and eat it? I might be down here for a while. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Oh, I have a roll button, apparently. A jump button, a crouch button, which is square for some reason? Huh. Usually it's a stick or something. Clicking sticks does nothing. Yeah, clicking sticks does nothing. If I have a sprint button, I haven't found it yet. Alright, well, thought I'd try out some buttons real quick. Oh. There's no cure for the rabies in this era, I'm guessing, so let's be careful about that. Well, this is beautiful.
Looks tight, but I can get through.
That's tight? Trico!
This must be a ruin of the metal world. One of the old places.
This actually really does highlight how long ago Last Guardian started development visually. Because that game has a style to it that works, but the fidelity of the visuals definitely show their age when we put it side by side with this game from the same year on the same console. It's a neat detail. So we're dealing with artificial constructions that are so old that they're becoming one with the cave, and the limestone is actually sort of growing over chunks of it because the water deposits it. That's what happens here, is water just sort of runs around, and because the stone here is wow, I'm just blanking on words right here. The stone here can be dissolved by water, which is a weird thing to think about when it comes to rocks, but limestone is pretty dissolvable, so you just run some water over it and it'll pick up at least a little bit of it, and so the path of the falling water will just sort of deposit more limestone as it goes. And so if the water's running down the mouth of this cave, it's just going to dump pieces of limestone the whole way, and suddenly you have artificial constructions that are just being covered with these things. It's a cool detail, look at that. It's the type of thing where those kinds of constructions don't really exist on that scale in real life. These crazy sci-fi walls. And so I can't really think of any context where it's made sense to try to make these crazy sci-fi constructions look like they're becoming one with nature, basically. Whenever we do post-apocalypse stuff, it's almost always the present-day technology being taken by the apocalypse, which mostly just amounts to burning buildings that then turn into rubble, that then get covered in plants and stuff like that. But this is something new. That's cool.
Ross said never go in places like this. But I have to find a way out.
We're fine, it's just the Large Hadron Collider, probably. Can't climb on it. What is this exactly? Are we gonna test Master Chief's shields in this thing? Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, he's tall enough. It'd probably make sense. I'm probably like 4 feet tall. I think Master Chief is 7 feet tall. Oh no, I said an Xbox in the PlayStation game. So this is an office space. There's a constant background noise right now. Is that some kind of signal or what? Oh, it's all the bats up there. Okay. Wow, they're just spraying out. You can tell that they did the low frame rate thing to make them run better, but to hide the fact that they're low frame rate, they also made them semi-translucent and shadowy. They have like an after-image effect to them that makes them look like they're hard to see somehow. They're also clearly just flying into walls. Don't look too closely. Wow, the pencils are... Huh. Don't know if I'd buy the pencils still being there, necessarily. I just feel like something would knock them over. Even if it was just the flow of water. There's a lot of cool details here. Those are the spider webs. I think those are the ones that stopped rendering when I looked down. I think that's what we were looking at before. Yep, now I got webs in my hair. Alright. That'll make my hair extra flammable. So I'm some sort of cursed one. Oh. Here's a classic moment of teasing me with something I'm clearly supposed to find, giving me direction in the dungeon while not immediately giving me access to it. So now I have some sort of goal, because shiny thing in video game means goal. So I'm some sort of outcast, which I'm sure will be some kind of primary plot point as we go forward. What's that supposed to be? Garbage can? Some of these things are so overtaken you can't even make out what they originally were. So we're definitely setting up some sort of premise of like a chosen one situation, or somebody that has some kind of forbidden power or capability that makes their tribes fear them because of their religious views. And they would be very adamant about their religious views, because anybody who disagrees with them seems to be the... They think that going away from those views would cause another apocalypse, because they see that turning away from the goddess is what caused the apocalypse in the first place. Or cause the previous civilization to fall. They probably don't view it as an apocalypse because it's so far removed. These are cool. I've seen these in person when they're wet. Like it was a brown sediment and they were all wet and it just looked like a flowing chocolate river, like some sort of bizarre Willy Wonka setting. Got some smashed tables. There's a lot of unique assets going on here. With how many individual chunks that they had to make to create the debris. That bat just went into the floor. What is that? Those look like cement blocks or something. Oh, it might have been a shutter. Like on a window? Oh yeah, with an engine attached to it. You can definitely make out some of this more than other parts.
There's something up ahead.
Oh, another hint. There's a computer terminal at the very least. Nothing major, but there's a computer terminal over there that suggests that maybe... I don't know, maybe this place will turn out to power on. That'd be interesting. Maybe that's why I'm not supposed to go into these places. The exile girl? Maybe I'm not supposed to go into these places because I have the power to reawaken the technology or something. And everyone fears that.
What's that? A dead person.
Oh, I totally didn't see that. I just saw the tree. I'm like, it's alive! Classic point of no return drop.
There's something shiny there.
Oh yeah, just rub your hands all over it. It's okay. I'm sure you've had your shots in the apocalypse. Well, this is new. Toggle the focus by pressing right RS. Wow. Okay. I guess I was on the right path by immediately saying that she probably reawakens old technology, given the setting we're in. Although the fact that she found it on the floor might mean it has nothing to do with her being in exile, unless her being in exile somehow... I don't know if if she's outcasted because she's somehow known for having the traits of the old ones or something. But the exile could be unrelated to the fact that she found this thing. There's holographic displays everywhere. Oh, this is interesting. So maybe these are... it could be that this thing is just making stuff up as we go along. The display that I'm wearing. Or it could be that this stuff is still powered. It could be that everything around me is still powered, but we just couldn't see because all of their displays were basically like VR holograph displays for this specific piece that I'm wearing and wouldn't be seen visually. You know, like as opposed to screens, like a CRT or whatever. It could be that all these things have been emitting their screens all the time and you've had access to displays and everything's actually not broken, but no one can tell because they're not wearing one of these. That's immediately interesting. Oh my god.
A metal door. Closed. Maybe this device I found can help.
I know it's a game where you fight robot dinosaurs, but I have severely underestimated how much sci-fi there's immediately going to be in this thing. Blast door, heavily shielded, seal integrity maintained. Also, we just learned that Aloy can read.
How do I get it open?
I don't know, start hitting it with your hand. Let's see.
More lights. A shape. It's connected to the door somehow.
So this is a hollow lock. Electromagnetic security mechanism with standard holographic UI. Interface unavailable. Code Nexus. Secure encryption port with holographic display. Data shows required settings for nearby hololocks. Reinforced platinum conductor. So I need to dismantle the background details to unlock it. But I need to find a way inside, which might just be over here. I kind of want to run around like this, but I have to choose between running and turning it on. It's a really cool visual. I want one. How do I get one? Nope. The rat visual is interesting. The rats shown as like a series of little squares, which is like a series of little like dots on a grid, which is interesting because it means it's being sensed by. It kind of suggests that it's being suggested by like IR sensors that are arriving on that grid, which reminds me actually of oh, you can tag your target. There we go. Now the rat's just always mapped. That's vital information, so I'm glad I did that. It reminds me of Mankind Divided. Jensen looks at people like dead on, and their skin will be covered in dots because Jensen sees people via some sort of weird grid. I don't know what to call it. Like he's got something that just like is just expelling lasers out and sensors and things, and it has a pattern to it that affects how he sees things. So can I interact with you directly? Okay. I have to turn you from here.
It changed color.
Oh. Surprising. That it just worked just like that. Would you have told me how to use it? Data shows required settings for nearby hololocks. I may have just missed my option. I was probably supposed to read that to find out how to use it, but then I used it. Oh, it's glowing now, and visually for when I'm not using the display. Wait. Let's double check. Are all the displays working without the... Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, me wearing... They turned on when I wore this. It's just that this gives me an even more intense view.
The door changed color too. It did it.
Well, if I was outcasted for being different before, the little red-headed stepchild of society, this thing's not gonna help. But at least there's one old lady that's really nice. She seems to be cool, so I guess she'll be our one friend, if I can find her. What can I find out here? There's more displays. This, oh, look at that. There's an icon saying that you can pick something up over there. Yeah, there's something on the counter. And the game points it out to you that you can gather something there. This is an interesting approach to the whole Batman detective vision thing that basically immediately became a standard the moment one game did it. Like, oh, augmented viewpoints. That's how we help people find things in our complex 3D worlds. It can be overused and awkward in some games, but I think it's a good choice by and large, because the more detailed graphics get, the more tempted developers are to completely jam the screen full of ridiculous details. Just so much grass and like look at how much detail there is in the screen with like you have all the shapes of all the stones, and you have the grass, and you have everything like this. And this is in a relatively simple hallway setting. Once you're out in the open and free roaming, like the sheer amount of details can really create some visual chaos where it's hard to pick out individual details that might be crucial to continue. And so having this kind of thing makes sense. And so I can absolutely see why so many games constantly use it.
What's that?
I can still see the rat in the distance.
It's got a device.
You think I want it this way? It's the best I can do. He's right behind you. Hi! Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man. Look, Daddy can't be there with you and Mom, but we can still have a party, right? Sure we can.
Show me. Show me again.
I can do. He's right behind you. Hi! Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man. Look, Daddy can't be there with you and Mom, but we can still have a party, right? Sure we can.
Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
Oh. Is that Isaac, or is that little big man? Actually, that would be the same person. Data corruption partial. So you can see that he's got the same thing on his head. That's what the little ring display is. So is this the father, or is this the son, I'm wondering? Because it's a message, obviously. So it could be on the father, or it could be, but like they could have transmitted it to the son to like try to be there and be a part of their life, and then the son might have kept it through a long life of absentee fathering, and may have died with that message still on his recorder 20 years later, or something like that. There's a few ways to interpret what's going on there. What if his father tragically died on that trip and never came back, and he kept that because it was the last message that they ever got? Was him trying to wish him a happy birthday, very awkwardly. That's the fun of environmental storytelling. And corpses. Is that you can just make up the story. I should be able to squeeze through here, right? Are you going to close behind me? How did I know? How did I know what was going to happen? Obviously, I'm going to go this way first, because it's not the way that the arrow tells me to go. That's so appealing to look at. It'd be a nightmare if I had to interact with it, because it's hopefully that's broken and not supposed to be working that way. Just doing a check down the hallway. I do see the thing that's right next to me. Oh, that's an audio log. Now that I see the wave thing, I was trying not to click on it in case it was important and would precede things or something. Connor Chasen? January 1st, 2066. Wait, I can't... I missed my chance to hit triangle? Do I have to rescan it or something? Oh, there we go.
Well, Happy New Year, dear diary. Can you believe we actually celebrated last night? Well, we did. Kind of. Director Evans invited everyone to gather in the community room. Don't know where she got the party hats. That was a ghoulish touch. So there we sit, watching the clock tick down to midnight, and I'm thinking, am I the only one who gets the symbolism of this? It might have been worth it if Skylar had gotten drunk again, but I seem to be a mistake she doesn't want to repeat.
Oh, self-esteem. It's funny because you get to hear the petty problems of people worrying about things that didn't matter in the long run because everything got obliterated. People just died on their couches apparently and get slowly calcified and become part of the cave. Puts a few things in perspective. Sometimes I try to think about that whenever something stresses me out and it's not something that matters, like, it doesn't matter, like, truly matter, or is something that doesn't matter that much. Which is not to be dismissive over things that, because you can quickly become callous if you're overly dismissive of things, but sometimes things just don't matter as much as they feel like they do in the moment, and you realize that your life's just going to move on, and it's actually, you'll get over the problem that's happening. But you can't treat everything that way. That's unhealthy.
I saw them lining up in the community room. Like cattle in a slaughterhouse, but smiling at each other. Shauna handing out meds like being alive is some kind of pain to be eased. Well, not me. I don't want to go quiet. I don't want to trail off. I want a period at the end of my life sentence, not an ellipses. Hell, an exclamation mark. So if that upsets whoever finds this, too bad. I don't know anyone, anything, anymore.
That immediately recontextualizes all the bodies around us. These people were killing themselves. That's why they died. That's how they somehow died on their couches and in other, like, basic areas where you wouldn't expect them to be dead. What's on the table here? A rope? Why would there be a rope here? Like a noose? There's no explicit noose shape. There's a stack of books. That might be a wicker. That might have been a wicker basket originally or something like that. Mostly books, though. So apparently they were handing out suicide pills, basically, right? Everyone's just killing themselves one by one, drifting into their sleep, and then never waking up, basically. Oh. And he didn't want that to happen, so he just shot himself because he was unwilling to go that way. But he was still killing himself. He wasn't willing to face whatever was happening here. He wasn't willing to try to fight or whatever was going on. Like, I don't know what the context is yet. He wasn't willing to resist in any way. He killed himself too, just not with pills. Like, that was his objection. That also means that it's fairly likely that the guy we saw giving his birthday pill out there that seemed so nervous and awkward and didn't know how to... Like, the emotion wasn't running true. He was probably transmitting his message to his son to wish him a happy birthday before he killed himself. Or at least, unless it's just an old message that isn't recent, which, of course, is totally an option. But he may have transmitted a message and then tried to wish his son a happy birthday one last time and then killed himself. Which is interesting because if that is the case, that suggests that this is a localized problem. Because it suggests that he expected that his son would receive the message and wasn't also, you know, in a place where everyone was killing themselves. But maybe the long-term thing is that this problem swept everywhere. But it would make sense that it would take time to become global. That's one of the things that a lot of apocalypse fictions kind of get wrong sometimes, is this ridiculous notion that everything can go to shit for the entire world simultaneously. Where generally things kind of happen over time, and some places have it way worse earlier on, but it sweeps the globe. So this could have been an earlier location where everything went down, and things could have gotten worse over time. Alright. This got interesting very quickly. I'm on board for the story. Oh god.
Oh god, this is a long... No, there's so many lives over there. How are you gonna taunt me like that?
They're doing one of those slow builds where they hint at upcoming enemies. Shit. That genuinely made me jump, like, really obviously. Oh, this thing uses circuits. It doesn't use... Okay, shit. Cancel. My bad. Quote-unquote easy mode. Fuck me. That's satisfying. Alright, let's... Come on. Don't be a dead. Oh my god, I'm alive. I'm alive. I am not dead yet.
This looks completely unfamiliar. What the fuck? Oh no!
In base 4, I'm fine. Oh, here we go. Ah. The cube is mine. Suck it, Gladys.